Morning folks, another glorious day, not a cloud in the sky, and I'm being a little bit optimistic. I've got shorts and thongs on today. It's a little bit cool at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that later on it's going to warm up. Amazing night last night, brilliant sunset. Took a little bit of video of it. So today we've only got, I don't know, maybe 3 hours driving to get into Coober Pedy, so we're not in a hurry to go. I've just packed all my solar panels and stuff up, and we'll head off. I don't think there's really anything between here and Coober Pedy, but quite a few interesting things to do at Coober Pedy. I was talking to a fella when we were camped at Flinders Ranges. The bloke was camped next to us, and he told us about a few things that's worth having a look at, so we'll go and check that stuff out. But absolutely quiet last night, like it's the same road that we were on the night before, but last night there was very little traffic during the night, although there was one bloke I heard go through in a car. I don't know how fast he was going like a rocket, because it was just and it was gone, you know. So pretty stupid to be driving at that speed in the dark out here, because there's a lot of roadkill on the side of the road, a lot of emus and a lot of kangaroos and even sheep, you know. So madness to be driving at speeds like that and in the dark. Anyway, let's get on the road and see what today brings us. Driving out here, every corner you go around is just, well, for me it's an eye-opener for any number of reasons. But while I was driving down this road, looking at how flat, harsh and treeless it is, why didn't they call this the Nullarbor? Not to take anything away from the real Nullarbor, of course. After all, the word Nullarbor means no trees. You can't get more no trees than this, surely. And when you're driving anywhere there might be mines operating, you will eventually come up on one of these. Yes mate, no problem. Yeah, just finding what you think. The road is only big enough for one of us. And that's not even a big one. Like any good tourist, your first stop has to be what everyone else has done, and that is get a photo of the Coober Pedy sign before we go to the caravan park. The Big 4 Caravan Park was recommended to us. The park is the first thing you see as you go into town, and has a small shop that I'm told does some pretty good pizzas. You can also get tours of the town booked through the park in the winter tourist season. Alrighty, so we've just arrived in our caravan park. We're staying at the Big 4 Caravan Park in Coober Pedy. Just done a walk around getting some photos. I'll show you a couple of photos, but I will do a proper review of this caravan park later on, sometime after this series is probably finished. But I'll show you a couple of quick photos. But I mean, it's Coober Pedy, so you can't expect too much, but it's not bad, you know. There is a big, it is a big park altogether, and over the back over there, there's like a lot of caravan sites which are just powered sites, because here you get a powered site, we get a power and water site. So big pile of them over there with power, and then you got these ones around here, which I think this is a new area, because the ground is very soft, and my actual mains tap to supply water to the fittings was still turned off, so I don't reckon anyone's actually stayed in this one yet. But this area through here is for if you want power and water. So this is the power and water section, and over the back over there is the just water section. So anyway, as I said, a caravan park review will come along down the track, and we'll have a good look around it then. But now it's lunchtime, we're all set up, gonna have some lunch, and then we'll go for a bit of a look around town and see if we can find an information centre and find out what we're going to go and do. That's the plan. We found the tourist centre in the council office, but I have to say it wasn't much use. We walked in and looked around, and the Sheila never even looked at us. For the most part, all they had was printouts of what you can get online, some brochures and a few souvenirs. What we wanted was local goss on what to do. As for the town, I found a quote online that I thought summed it up pretty good. When I first saw Coober Pedy, I had to pinch myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I felt like I was walking into the outback of the Wild West. The town is stark and moon-like, and there's not many trees. There are small mounds of mine tailings everywhere, and a raw anything-goes edginess to the town. Some 70% of the town's 3,500 residents live underground to escape the blistering summertime temperatures. When you come to Coober Pedy, you have to go check out the opal shops and mines. This one was recommended to us. Not only is it an opal shop, they also do tours of the mines underneath. They show us a little of the old ways they used to dig the opal and talk about how things have changed. Also, what it's like to live underground. They have all the amenities of a normal house. They just don't need air conditioning. There'll be more of this in a full Coober Pedy video to follow later. So if you don't want to miss it, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe and the bell so you'll be notified when a new video drops. So we're taking a walk around Coober Pedy, having a look around town. It's actually quite a busy place, quite spread out. Not really what I was expecting, but then there's been a lot on this trip that I haven't been expecting. But just here I've just come across obviously an old mine digging, you can see here. So up there was the where they're bringing the dirt up. There's these little hatches here. You can get one in the shot. Where is it? There it is there. This is obviously to get air down into the shaft, you know. The old bus over there was obviously used for in the process of finding the opal. I don't know how well you're going to see, but just on the other side of this fence over here, obviously little diggings and everything all along there as well, and somebody's shed down there, the wind generator on it, and all up over the back over here. It's all this diggings and everything up over here. There are just mounds of dirt everywhere you look. I'm going to go for a drive tomorrow, and yeah, go for a bit of a drive and have a look around and see what else we can find. But we just actually did a tour inside. It's an opal shop, but you go in through this tunnel almost to get to the opal shop, and then they take you down and they show you a little bit of how they an old mine or an old house where they lived, and then the new sort of dugout housing. The Sheila was saying you can buy them up here for about sort of 50 to 100,000. Cheap house. And not that I really want to live underground, but if that's your thing, cheap way to get somewhere to live, I suppose. But yeah, old Franklin. Yeah, so we'll do a bit of drive around, see if we can get some pictures of some of this other works that are going on around the place. But it is everywhere. There are holes everywhere. You literally got to watch where you're walking, or else you'll fall into something, you know. Even here, this is obviously a tourist attraction at one point, but this must have gone down into this underground tunnel or something, into this underground mine. So anyway, yep, that's it. We've had a look around town, so I guess we'll probably go back to the caravan park for the rest of the day. Not that there's that much left of it, but anyway, we'll see what we come up to next. It's really quite surprising how far people will travel to get to Coober Pedy. Coober Pedy, middle of South Australia, and as close as I've ever gotten to being in a real desert. Have a look around. Absolutely nothing out there. Not a tree, not a plant. Just seen some emus down the road here. Just on the other side of the dingo fence, just out there. Can't see it now, but back there you could. There's the dingo fence that runs through here. Keeps the dingoes on, I'm not sure either that side or this side, I don't know. Keeps them on one side, but the emus are certainly on the other side. But you think back 100 years ago, it was about 1914, 1915. Three blokes were out here looking for potential opals. Don't know what made them come out here. Two blokes went off to go look for water, and the son of one of them, he was left behind at the campsite, keep the fire going so that they could see where they were coming back to in the dark. And he ended up wandering off, and not only did he discover water, but he also discovered a big heap of opals, and that was the start of opal mining out here at Coober Pedy. Unfortunately, 5 years later, he apparently drowned somewhere, don't know where, but so he didn't really live long after discovering the world's biggest opal fields apparently. So there's a couple of opal fields in Australia. There's this one here, which is the biggest one. Queensland has one, and I can't remember where they said there was another one. But yeah, you think coming out here in this, you know, in stinking hot, it's 50, 55 degrees out here, and this is what you're walking through. Pretty tough people back then. If you can see, but out the back there's wind generators. That's Coober Pedy. It's about 15 kilometres away from here. We've just come out here. We're going to go for a drive through the Breakaway Conservation Park. Round trip, it's probably about 40 or so kilometres, 50 kilometres maybe. But it's supposed to be some interesting things out here to have a look at. So we're going to go and find out. And if anyone can tell me what the hell these flies live on out here, like there's nothing, no water, no nothing, so what do they live on apart from me? Look at this, more emus. I've never seen so many emus before as I have in South Australia. They must love it here. This is just another one of the stops along this little drive. We've gone from flat ground, although it's sort of flat still out that way. We've got all this coloured rock and hills, and further back it actually looked like snow on top of the hills. But it's just amazing that you know, a few kilometres back, dead flat, nothing anywhere, and then all of a sudden you come here and you've got these hills. Now, I mean, alright, you might think that perhaps this is from the mining, you know, but this is a conservation park. I don't think there's been any mining here. I'm pretty sure all this stuff, it's all natural. If I'm wrong, tell me below. But just the colour of the sands, rock, whatever it is, you know, bit of cloud coming over now, which is good. And that's the other thing, you know, like it's 26 degrees here at the moment, but it feels like it's probably early 30s, mid 30s. So can you imagine out here when it's like 55 degrees, the temperature must feel like it's about 80 odd. I just don't understand how things can survive out here. But this is great stuff. I love this stuff. This is just amazing. Let's move on and see what's further down the road. This last stop is an amazing view around the whole sort of area. If you're going to come out and do this, it's going to cost you $12.50. You get the permit online. $12.50 well spent, because that dirt road you drive in on, it's in better condition than half of the roads in South Australia, the bitumen stuff. So it's money well spent, and definitely worth coming out. This was recommended to me by a fellow I was camping next to in Flinders Ranges. I think his name was Andrew. He suggested doing this, and I haven't done hard about it, but I'm glad I did end up coming out and doing this, because it's really worthwhile. It's a nice little drive, and yeah, just the scenery is amazing. One thing I did notice when I was driving out here, the last maybe couple 100 kilometres, there really wasn't any evidence of any kind of river, creek, stream or anything, you know. It's just flat ground. So, you know, if it does rain, where does the water go? It clearly doesn't go very far, it just probably sits there and just soaks eventually into the ground. But here, I can only assume that these, you know, hills and that have all been formed with rain, you know. So there's obviously been some sort of form of heavy rain or something in this area at one point. But yeah, amazing. Those hills down there, when we're driving past them, were, you know, reasonably tall. But from up here, they just look like, you know, ant mounds. But that's it for this drive. If you're going to do it, I would suggest, because it goes in a circle, I would suggest taking the road out of Coober Pedy, not the Stuart Highway. Take the road out and come in from that way and finish up getting on the Stuart Highway and then heading back south into Cober Pedy. Because as you drive along this way, it sort of like gets better and better, where if you're coming in from the Stuart Highway side and heading the way we came from, which is out that way somewhere, like this is the best, and then it's just going to get, oh yeah, as you go down kind of thing, you know. So this way it's been working better every time you come up. That's my suggestion. Anyway, I think that is it for this run, this drive. So I'm going to go into town, have a look at a couple of things in there, and that's pretty much it. So we'll see what's down the road. Alright, so we're giving up now. Put the fly net on, too many flies out here. But I couldn't think of a better place than to end this series on, or this episode on Coober Pedy than out here. Such an amazingly great view. But if you like this video, then hit the thumbs up. That'll help make YouTube show my videos to more people, help make the channel grow. And if you want to see more from this series, then hit that subscribe button down there. And hit the bell next to it, because that'll let you know when I've uploaded another video. And I guarantee if you do that, you won't get any of these flies. So when we leave here, we're heading south now, so we've gone as far north in South Australia as we're going to go. So I don't know where we'll be for the next episode, but up until then, happy travels.